Today we're talking about 3 tips to make your e-commerce business more successful.
Hey everybody, it is Jessica and Joe. We are the Family Flips and we are full-time resellers. And today we want to talk about 3 main tips to help make your e-commerce business more successful.
Yeah. And these 3 are really designed, focused around how to improve your cash flow or keep a positive cash flow throughout the full calendar year.
So just jumping right in, why don't you tell us about tip number 1? Now, from what we talked about, we're talking about picking items with a higher sell-through rate, or really it's finding a balance between those long tail items with high profit margins and those items that sell very, very quickly with maybe a low profit margin. So tell us a little bit about that, Joe.
Yeah, so I mean, a lot of sourcing techniques, and I say a lot of what you see in the Facebook world or even in YouTube, that a lot of the sourcing strategy is people are going to thrift stores, Goodwills, Salvation Army, they're going to the Goodwill bins, they're going garage sales, estate sales, all those places to source, which those are all great places to source. But a lot of items that you'll find, you know, clothing, it's a big seller, a lot of all those other items, they have a more traditional, what we call a slower sell-through rate, meaning that it's going to take longer to sell that item than other items. Yes, you do have items that do have a high profit margin, that you may be able to buy that pair of jeans for $1 and sell it for $20, but it may take you 2 or 3 months. Well, just think about it. If you have that $1, but then you have thousands of items in your inventory, that adds up to a lot of money just sitting on your shelf.
And if that money is still sitting on your shelves and it's not in your wallet, then you can't buy new product, which makes your business very, very stagnant, and you're not going to be able to scale, grow, or even really have a successful business, because you're constantly going to be having to scrape for money, because all of your money, which it is good money, but it's not, it's sitting on your shelves in your inventory, and it's not in your pocket where you need it to be. So
the key is to find items that sell fast. Like, we sell a wide array of items. We sell cell phones, tablets, GPS units, digital cameras. We buy liquidated pallets and sell customer returns, and they all have varying levels of sell-through rates. But our focus is really, the bread and butter comes from selling those electronic devices that they sell. You know, cell phones have about a 200% sell-through rate, meaning they generally only take us about 2 weeks to sell once those items are listed. So the key would be to have those items, but balance that with those long tail items, those items that may take 3 or 4 or even 5 months to sell, but they're going to give you a much higher profit margin. So finding that balance,
super important.
Yeah,
super important. So moving on to the next one, it is about the sourcing strategy, right? So about how long it takes for you to source an item versus how long it takes to list the item, and accounting for that in the value of your item, right? So tell us a little bit about that.
Yeah, so whatever your goal is, we'll just break it down to, most resellers that we see are part-time resellers. So we'll start with a goal that might be realistic with you, which would be 50 items. Say you have a goal to list 50 items per week. You know, you want to list 10 items 5 days per week. You're going to want to have that strategy, that sourcing strategy, that's going to allow you to reach that goal of 50 items. That if you want to list 50 items, you obviously are going to have to source 50 items. That could be, does that strategy, like if you're trying to go out every Saturday to find items, are you able to find 50 items in that day? Maybe it takes you 2 days. Is that then going to allow you enough time to be able to list those items within the time that you have allotted? And if not, then it may be a strategy to where you may source 1 day, you know, every couple of weeks, but you're able to source several hundred items to get that to where you are meeting your listing goal. But like, if you're having to drive around to thrift store, to garage sale, to all these places, and you're spending several days to be able to get the amount of items that you need to reach your weekly listing goals, then your strategy is probably going to need to be adjusted so that you can do it. Like for us, like our listing goal is 300 items per week. This is a new goal we've been, you know, scaling up, and we've been building up to this. But even for us, like, we are having problems consistently having 300 items per week to be able to list. Like some weeks we could purchase probably 500 or 600 items, and then some weeks we may only be able to purchase 50 or 60 that fit the criteria of the profit margins that we want. Like for us, we want to buy items that are going to profit at least $10 for us. And we're not talking about spending $100 on an item to make $10. We're talking about we're spending $5, $6, $10 to profit $10 after we have sold, shipped, we've paid employees to list or paid virtual assistants to list it. That's our goal. So adjusting that sourcing strategy to meet your listing goal.
Yeah, and if your sourcing strategy doesn't meet your goal, then something's got to change. Either your sourcing strategy or your goal. You know, some people set goals that are very, very high, and it's not even really in the realm of what they want or even are possible to do, especially if you're a part-time reseller. You have other responsibilities other than being a full-time reseller.
Yeah.
So it's really about breaking that down and figuring, okay, where is the disconnect here, and how do I make a clean plan that's going to benefit me, benefit my business, and make it successful. So that last tip is about diversifying your product. So tell us a little bit about that.
Yeah, so I mean, a lot of people, a lot of resellers, they traditionally sell clothes. Clothes are very easy to find. Shoes, very easy to find. But you'll see that people who do that, they go through periods of time throughout the year that have a very slow sell-through. They don't sell during the summer months, like they call it the summer slowdown, right? For us, we don't really experience the summer slowdown because we do have a diverse categories that we sell in. So if you do have items that you sell, that the majority of those items that you sell do have periods of time throughout the year where they don't sell well, where you're going to want to make sure that you add some items to your inventory that sell consistently throughout the year so that you continually get cash flow throughout the year. Because the last thing you want is you don't want to come across the opportunity to buy great inventory at a great profit but not have any money to be able to buy those items.
Right.
And being able to diversify your categories that you sell in is going to help you get that capital throughout the year to be able to maintain that buying power that you want so that you can take advantage of those certain buying scenarios that you have.
So I hope you enjoyed these 3 tips. I hope you found value in them. If you're interested in finding these tips and more, check us out at www.thefamilyflips.com. We do have a blog, and that is linked also in the description below.
Yep.
Don't forget to, if you want to support us, please hit that like button, subscribe if you haven't already, and we just thank you guys so much. You guys are just amazing.
If you have some tips that you'd like to share also about how to improve cash flow, make sure you put that in the comment section also. So, until next time,
Peace.